So you got an iPad for Christmas. Well, lucky you. It can do everything, as we all know. Play games, go online, do whatever you like with it. Now, lots of people go, oh yeah, I recall seeing that GarageBand logo on the front screen there. Well, this is an app that ships with every single Apple device. It comes preloaded, even on phones. So everything that you see here that I'm about to do, you can do on an iPhone as well. Now, GarageBand is a fully fledged 32-track digital recording studio, and the sounds on it are fantastic. And not only that, it's designed for people who have no idea how music works at all. So it serves an educational purpose as well as being a lot of fun, and it's great for songwriters as well because you can just get ideas down. So I'm going to press the GarageBand logo on the front screen here, and I've got some other songs here that I've done, but at the top you can see a plus symbol, which I'm going to press, which enables me to start a new song. Then we have a sort of swipeable range of instruments here, from keyboards to drums, guitars, all sorts of things. I'm going to start by going to Drummer. Now, this means that you can get a drum rhythm without having to input any of the information at all. Nothing. So at the left, I've got acoustic drums with the little logo at the bottom left here, which I'm going to press. And then it brings up a page showing a few sort of options that you can select. However, if you just press play, you get this. And there you go. Easy. You can set drum fills, you can set it to be more complicated with this little joystick at the bottom left, simple or complex, loud or soft, but we're just going to leave it there for the moment because we've got ourselves a drum rhythm without having to do anything at all. At the top left of the screen, third button in, it's a brick wall symbol. Now that is essentially your main screen in GarageBand, so you can see my drum rhythm there and it gives you a little graphical representation of what's been going on. I'm going to add another instrument using the plus symbol bottom left. Let's have a look. I'm going to get a bass next. There we go. Tap strings to play acoustic and electric bass lines. So I'm going to go to something called Smart Bass. This means that you don't need any knowledge of the fretboard or strings or anything like that. If I just click on that, it shows me a set of tabs, E, M, A, M, D, M, G. These are all chords. These are all sort of bits of musical theory which you don't necessarily need to know at this stage, but actually, because it's a nice pictorial diagram, gradually you get used to these sort of things. At the top is a button with 5 positions called autoplay. Now I'm going to use this to generate a bass line. If I just tap on the strings, it means I have to tap along to the drums in time. So actually it's, it can be a little bit tricky to start with. But if I go to autoplay number 1, you can see that the strings now disappear, revealing just simple tabs. So if I just press on C, gives me a pretty good sound. If I go to number 2 on autoplay, it's just a little bit more complicated. Number 3. I'm going to go with number 2, I think. Just goes with those drums a bit better. So I'm going to press record now, and I'll hear a 4-beat count in, which gives you just classic 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to play the tabs in order. I'm going to do them in a certain order. It may be worth noting something down on pen and paper to, note the chords. Now, because of the way that the chords are arranged and the musical theory behind this, essentially you can pick any of these random things as long as you stick to the same thing when you're on the guitar or the keyboards, which I'm going to do in a minute. Okay, got to try and remember what I did now. Oh well, never mind. So, I'm going to go to my brick wall on here, which enables me to see that I've now added my bass to my drums. Let's try a bit of piano. So if I go to the plus symbol again, let's find a piano. Smart piano, here we go. Again, the same tabs come up, albeit in a slightly different way, in slightly different layout. Now, actually, what happens here is that you can play chords just with a single tap, but the chords sound a little lower or higher depending on where you press them. You get two colours. You get the white for your right hand for the chords, and then your bass line, which is the slightly grayer ones at the bottom. However, I'm going to go with autoplay again because I just want to get something down. Let's try autoplay number 2 like we did just now. There are 3 tabs here now. If I press the bottom one on C, I get my bass line, I get my left hand, or my right hand with the tab above that. If I press C itself, I get both. But I don't want that bass line to interfere with my bass guitar, so I'm just going to use the main sort of middle tab, the bigger one here. Let's see what happens here. And I remembered what I'd done. Okay, so we've got something there. Now, of course, you don't have to stick with this. If I go to my brick wall symbol rather, here, my piano, I can see that it gives you a graphical representation of what's been done. I can go to edit and actually see all of the notes that have been put in. So I didn't really like that top C there. So let's change it to something else. And of course you can just go back on here and play through to see if that's going to work. I can also change the volume. If I just click once on here and velocity for volume. And every time you stop the slider, it replays the notes, so it gives you a bit of a preview. You know, this is, well, I'm not going to go too in depth, but you can see that you can do masses with this. So if I click done on the right hand side here, I'm going to add an acoustic guitar. So I'm going to go to smart guitar again, and I've got something where you can strum the strings this time. If I go from the bottom of the C tab on the bottom string and just swipe upwards, I can get something where you've got a little bit more fine control. The autoplay will do the similar thing to the bass and the piano. But I'm going to try strumming across the strings so that it sort of relies a little bit more on my sort of rhythmic input to get that to work. Okay, so I've got something there. If I just go to my brick wall again to reveal what I had before, if I go to edit mode, you can see that where I've strummed the strings, everything is slightly, just a little bit away from the sort of standard timing. All these little dots at the top here keep you in time, but I don't want to do anything with that because I quite like that sort of preemptive sort of strum before each chord. So I'm going to add a vocal line now. Now I haven't prepared any lyrics, I'm just going to go la over the top. This also demonstrates that you can use this with the internal microphone. If I go to plus and find my audio recorder, use the microphone to record your voice or any sound. See, this is important, you see. It gets you thinking, well, maybe there's some other sounds, organic sounds around the house that I can use in my song. It's all exploratory. There's masses you can do. Now, I've got a pair of headphones here. I've got my studio headphones. But if you plug a standard pair of headphones in the side, like the Apple headphones, they will use the little microphone that's on the lapel where you sort of click to go forward or back a track or whatever. So you've got to be a little bit careful that it's not going to brush against your clothes or anything. You can get all sorts of other things. You can get a pair of headphones, a standard older school pair of headphones which don't have the specific jack on, which means it uses its internal mic. But let's just get on and use it. So if I just go to voice here, Now I'm just going to plug my headphones in. So you can see that every time I speak in front of the mic, you can see that there is a level here. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Don't generally worry too much as long as you can see some signal there. You don't want it right at the top or right at the bottom because you get either distortion or a very low level sound, which we don't really want. So I'm going to just press record and just go la over this and you can see what happens. There you go. Now I just go back to my main page. You can see now that there is a blue line there, which is actually what it's recorded. I'll just have a quick listen to that. That's absolutely fine. Now I'm going to duplicate this track because I'm going to try some harmonies. Duplicate. There we go. So I've got exactly the same sound again. So I'm going to record something that goes with that vocal. There you go. I stopped while the going was good before it all went pear-shaped. So I'm going to duplicate that one more time and just have a quick listen to what I've done. And I got it wrong, never mind. There is an undo button at the top. So if I just click that, it'll get rid of what I've just done, and I'm not going to go any further. Now, if I swipe slightly to the left, sorry, slightly right, with a tiny little tab there, it reveals lots of volumes so that you can do a bit of mixing as well. Those vocals are quite high in the mix at the moment, so I can just turn them down slightly. And I can also do other things like reverbs and all that. At the top, there's a little button with 3 little sliders on it. Now, if I just click on that, it opens yet another page, which allows me to have some reverb at the bottom. All of this from an iPad. So I've used 6 tracks here. I've got another 26, my maths, tracks, which I can record loads of other things on. And then, of course, when you finish this song, you can save it. If I just go to here, there we go, My Song 13. And if I click and hold on that, share. And there you go, you can share your song, and then it'll put it in your files, or you can send it to your friends. Hey, look what I made with GarageBand. All of that from an iPad.